Hey y'all, welcome to How to Stay at Home Ec with Brett Janae. Today I wanted to talk for just a moment about finding balance in your life using symmetry. So when I was, or a few years back, I got super into feng shui and still absolutely love it. It's what makes my house the way that it is. I think that the colors and the flow in my home um, are one of my favorite things about my home. And that's something that you can do to any space. So we can talk about decluttering and we can talk about keeping your space clean. I think that those are both really important things. I think that if you get lost in having a lot of stuff surrounding you, then you lose out on the peace that comes with breathing fresh air. And in that way, I mean that the space that is surrounding you, as you look around, if your eyes can find space, then your mind can find space and your breath can find space as well. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a completely bare space. And you definitely want eye-catching, sentimental pieces that surround you. But you do want to make sure that before or after you think about symmetry, you think about looking in your space, maybe even taking a picture of your space and looking at where your eyes fall that are places of kind of points of interest for collections of things that maybe don't need to be there, or things that can be put away, or maybe things that you don't like at all anyway, and you can just get rid of because it doesn't bring you joy when you see it. So I think that it's very important when you're talking about feng shui to the very first thing that I would say to anybody who wants to make their space totes gorge and a place that they can breathe in and enjoy is first off, maybe even first off, like declutter and then clean, or clean and then declutter, whichever that means for you. And we'll go over decluttering at another time. You don't have to declutter or get rid of anything before you start thinking about symmetry. So one of the ways that we can find balance in this time is to surround ourselves or to make our eyes find things that are the same. So if you have two things in your home that are very similar, or if you have a focal point in your home like a television set or a couch maybe that's not in an L-shaped, or maybe a chair that you love to sit in, or your dining room table, or if you've got like a hearth that has decorations on it, or you've got like even your dining room table, your office space, the space where you are sitting. How gorgeous would it be to walk into your office space, to have very few things on your desk, your laptop in the middle, and then maybe a candle on either side. I know that you're drooling with me when I say that, because the idea of walking into a place where there is one larger focal item and then two smaller honorary items on either side that mean something to you just makes you want to take a deep breath in. And so this is what we're going for when you're looking for symmetry in your house. And a great way to start with symmetry, not just because, I mean, if you just want to believe that it's very good for your mind and it's very easy for your mind to see one focal point and then to not have to notice details on either side, but just to know that there's something on either side allows your mind to relax. So you're not taking in detail whenever you walk into a room. You're just taking in almost like a bell curve, sort of a landscape, if you will. When you look at a landscape, what you're looking at, yes, you might be looking at rolling hills, but at a time your mind kind of shuts down a little bit and allows yourself to see the whole big picture without having to count every single hill. You're able to see everything kind of flowing together, and that's what feng shui is about. So a great way to start there. One, as I said, because it helps clear your mind. It helps us find balance. It helps us feel balanced. It helps us take a deep breath in and to be comfortable in our space, maybe not having to change anything or not having to take in extra information, but just to kind of like be at peace and to know that our focal points are honored by objects that we love. But second off, I think that one of the great places to start with symmetry is in your bedrooms or your bedroom. So this is for single people and for people who are in couples. One of the things that when I first got into feng shui, I was single, and I looked into feng shui for love, feng shui for inviting a lover into your life. Setting up your space so that you're honoring the space within your mind that you're making for someone else to enter your life. And so one of the ways that they said to do that was to take your bedroom and make it a space for two and not a space for one. Now, that doesn't mean that if you've got a closet, you leave half of it open. Although having a capsule wardrobe is like huge times, having just some clothes that you wear over and over and over again that are great quality that you love. And we'll talk about that at another time. I think that what it meant for me was get yourself a bed. So if you are living on a mattress on the floor, get yourself a bed, a frame, something that has a back to it, not something that has a front. So if you've got a bed that's already got a front, something that like comes up where your feet are, don't get rid of it. We're not saying that. If you ever go into looking into a bedroom set again, one of the things that feng shui says is that you don't want anything that cuts off your feet at the bottom of your bed. And so that means that the bottom of your bed rolls nicely down into the floor as much as possible, but that a headboard is just fine. So that's like a little extra detail for bedroom, and we'll talk about etiquette on another day as well. But all that to say, if you have a lover, or if you don't have a lover, if you have a lover, finding a way to find symmetry in your space balances out the relationship between you and that person by creating a similar, equal situation on both sides. So if you think of your bed as a focal point, get 2 nightstands. So your bed is raised up off the ground. You're not sleeping on a mattress on the floor, if you can afford it. If you can't, set up all these things that I'm telling you with your mattresses on the floor and will something like that into your life. Make that happen for yourself, whether you want to get it at the store and you want to manifest that for yourself, or if you want someone to give it to you and you want to manifest that for yourself, or if you see one that your friends have and they're giving it away, like manifest those things for yourself. Don't put yourself out right now, especially some people don't have work. So don't go crazy spending a bunch of money on this. Find 2 things, one thing to put on one side, one thing to put on the other side of your bed. If you can make it happen that it's a nightstand, great. If you don't have 2 nightstands, maybe you've got matching rugs and you want to put a rug on either side, or maybe you've got matching lamps and you want to put like a lamp on either side. But whatever you're doing for one side, try to do it to the other side. So I wanted to show you today, and you guys will see my cup of coffee here, but I wanted to show you today, this is my guest room, and my guest room follows these rules. Now, the interesting thing about our guest room is that it's actually a duplicate, the bed set for my guest room is the same as the bed set when I was living by myself as a single girl. And these are the nightstands that I got to increase the symmetry in my life, to find balance in my life, and to create space for someone else in my days. And I honestly believe that feng shui allowed me to make space in a spiritual way before in this case, Jeremy came along. I think that a lot of other things went into it. I'm not saying that, you know, I called him to me by the stars, although maybe that's true too. So I wanted to show you what this bed space looks like. So you'll notice, and so this is symmetry in all things. Right now I'm going to show you my bed, but I do have symmetry in other places, and I may show you those things just before we cut. But this is my bed space. So you'll notice that in this case, I've got paintings on either side. I've got lamps on either side. I've got the bed stands are the same, and those I got from Overstock. I think I got them 2 for $50. So they were not super expensive, but I wanted them. I didn't want to buy the ones from Rooms to Go, which is where I got this bed, because they were really expensive. So I found something that would match. The pillows match. There are 2 kings in the back, 2 queens in the front. And then, yeah, so that's what that looks like. And it's centered underneath the window. So we'll talk a little bit more, like I said, in my Bedikit episode in a couple of days. That's not great. I'm not a big fan of maybe having a window back there, but definitely centered on the window was the way to go, despite the fact that if you guys can or can't see, that window is not in the center of this room. But I centered the bed on the window because you can hardly tell. You'll notice this side over here. This is a secret. You guys know my bad naughty secret. This side is closer to the wall than this side. But symmetry, guys, all the way, all day. So other places where you can practice symmetry, you can actually practice symmetry in any room in your house. I would say that definitely, like I said, anytime you have a focal piece, you want to create symmetry. So like I said, if you've got an entertainment center, you want to try to space that to where there's maybe something on either side, maybe something nice in the center, but just to kind of honor that space. Declutter your space a little bit so that you can feel the symmetry when you walk in. Maybe if you've got a couch, put a lamp on either side. Or if you've got a couch, you know, that's like a longer couch, maybe put an end table on either side. Try to find yourself, when you buy pieces for your space, see if there's room for 2. Not just for you spiritually and relationally, but also because if you want to purchase something that is a focal point, there's no better way to honor it than to frame it, right, with something on either side. Now, in this time, you don't have to buy anything to practice symmetry. Chances are you have 2 lamps. That doesn't necessarily mean they have to be the same today, and that doesn't mean that you have to buy those things today. I would challenge you to not buy anything, but to find the things that maybe you have 2 of and practice framing your favorite things. Maybe you've got a set of pillows. A great way to practice symmetry is like if you've got your couch or daybed or whatever, put a similar pillow on either side. If you've got a set of 2 pillows, put one on one side and one on the other side. And I know that that's something that's very small, but it creates, like I said, it creates space and allows our minds to relax a little bit. So practice some symmetry in your own home. I think that you will find it very breathy. If you have any questions, you can send me pictures all day. You can message me on Facebook Messenger, or you can comment below and we can talk about it. If you've got a great picture, I love pictures, guys. If you've got a great picture of a way that you have honored something in your home, whether it be a bed or maybe it's a statue and you put something on either side of it, a shrine of some sort, you know, or maybe like in our entryway, we have a small table that has a plant that I was given for, I think, a Christmas by my older sister. And then on either side, we have 2 small chairs that I got for pretty cheap. They're folding chairs even. And then I put a pillow on either side. And that honors the table that was actually made by her husband. It honors the plant that was given to me. And it honors like an entrance space where people can walk in and see that immediately. So yeah, show me your pictures of symmetry, and maybe, like I said, they don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. The idea is that you are creating a certain flow in your space and honoring focal objects using similar things on either side, and allowing your mind to relax when you walk into a room by not having to distinguish all of the fine details of things that are totally different. I love you guys. Happy symmetry times. Happy Sunday. And we'll talk to you in the next video. Have a good day.